this October 7th, 2025 meeting of the Walnut Township Advisory Board to be open. What are our minutes for 9/24?
Okay, meeting called to order at 6:05 p.m. In attendance is Tyler Bumgardner, Grace Aguilar, Kyle McCard, Josh Fenton, Victor Aguilar, Mike Woods, Michelle Kincaid, and Melody Davis. Michelle read minutes from 8/13/25. Melody made correction to minutes on poor relief. Mike made a motion to approve. Michelle made a second motion. Motion passed 2-0. No old business, moved on to fire protection. Kyle said from the first installment of the contract, $4,262, they paid bills on extrication of equipment for update every year. It was $1,265. Intercooler went out on the ambulance on a run. The cost to fix was $942.40. Also bought a lifting device called Lender Lift for $647 and some change. The three charges came out of the general fund where the installment was put into. The $647 charge is being reimbursed from the ambulance billing. Fire department is buying that. 2 weeks ago, the pumper went to Jamestown. Was it the pumper, Kyle?
Yeah.
To get its yearly checkup. Kyle has not received the bill for that yet. Tyler brought up that no bills are to be paid for the ambulance. That is the town's responsibility. Melody passed out the financials. She also passed out the assets policy to get signed for audit purposes, also signed a control policy. There was no poor relief cemeteries. Melody went to a genealogy workshop. Aaron Morrison is bringing Wabash students to Union Hill on October 26th to do some community service. Tyler asked if anyone was working at Old Town, that graves had been brought up from down the hill. Melody said nothing had been set up, so someone was volunteering their time. Melody asked Tyler about signs. Tyler said need to decide on a logo. Looking at a 4x8, there is no legal size that he has found. Melody asked him to get a sample, one printed so we can see. Tyler asked about if there was going to be any money from the 4% to go towards cemetery repairs. Tyler is going to call Travis Needham to see if he will donate sand or stone for cemeteries. Tyler will donate the sand if Travis doesn't. Budget hearing opened at 6:34 p.m. Michelle asked question where money was coming from to raise the budget, $50,000. Melody said from property taxes, excise taxes, federal government, and civic. Melody said Sam approved the budget already. Lengthy discussion, see video or recording. Closed public meeting at 9:45. Mike made a motion to adjourn meeting. Michelle second motion, meeting adjourned at 9:46.
I make a motion that the minutes are read and approved. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Mommy.
Okay, budget presentation.
Hi guys, I'm Michelle Davis, and I've been working with Melody on the budget and just other questions she has regarding municipal finance. A little bit about me, I worked with Cronin Associates for 2 years now. Prior to that, I worked City of Anderson as the deputy controller, and I also served on township board myself and fire territory board. So, very familiar with all the things you guys deal with and make decisions on. And I'm gonna get into the presentation now. And if you already know all this, just kind of, I guess, tell me to move on. I just wanted to give a little budget 101. The second page, this talks about how the DLGF will approve pretty much anything you put in front of them as long as you have the cash to do so. So they will let you spend every last dollar you have. We don't recommend that, obviously. You want to make sure you're going into the next year with sufficient cash. And then a little bit about the timeline of the budget. There has to be 10 days. There's a notice. There has to be 10 days after that for your public hearing. And then at least 10 days after that, you can adopt. But you have to adopt before November 1st. If you don't adopt, they'll revert to last year's budget. So that gives approximately 2 months to adopt the budget from start to finish. Next page, talk about the revenues. This is one of those. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so the main sources of and stop me if you have any questions, just so you know. So the main source of revenues for Walnut Township, property taxes, and with that comes what they call vehicle excise, fit taxes, CVET, and those are levy based. So wherever fund or levy goes, that's kind of where those extra revenues go. And then you also have local income tax, and those are controlled by the county adopts those rates and then distribute. There's a certain allocation how they're distributed right now. That will change all in 27. The county will have to adopt new lit rates in 27 for pay 28. There's still a lot of, I think there's going to be some legislature changes still with that, but I'm going to move on to the next page. Appropriations. This is you're basically giving permission to spend the money so cash and appropriations, those are different. So you can have the cash, but if the council or the board does not give you permission to spend it, you can't spend it. And this is what this budget process is. It's to basically get permission to spend your cash. And then you have major budget categories that you need to stay within. Personal services, supplies, services and charges, capital outlays, and debt service. So you can overspend per line item, but not overall on those categories. So if you say overspend office supplies, but underspend operating supplies, you're still fine. You can move between those two, but you have to have board approval to transfer within. Like if Melody wanted to transfer money from personal services to supplies, she would need to come to you guys for approval for that. Next page, this just talks about the tax rate calc, how you get to the tax rate. I used the township and fire EMS levy as an example. So right now, their AV is 111 million, and their current max levy is 26,652. So you take the 26,652 divided by the AV divided by 100, and that gives you your tax rate of 0.0239. And then, so your portion of the tax is only a portion of, so over all the overlapping. So when somebody pays property taxes, it goes to obviously the county, schools, the township. You guys get like a little sliver of that. All right, so
now that 0.239, that is our little sliver.
yes, that's the township fire, the fire portion.
Oh, fire.
So you have the township one and you have a fire one. So kind of go to the next page, and that talks about you guys have two max levies. You have a township one, and then a fire EMS. Each year the state will come out with what they call a growth quotient. I'm hoping they do that going forward, but with a bunch of those law changes, it's kind of unknown if they're going to let you grow that max levy. So right now they let you grow the max levy. So for instance, the township for 25 was a little over 22,000. We can grow it by 4%. That brings us to 22,946. And then they have what this called is excess levy appeal. That's special, and if your community has grown more than the state over the last 3 years, then you can apply for a levy adjustment, basically increase your property tax collections. And that 1992 is what you guys qualify for just the township piece. So this is the last year that they are allowing this excess levy appeal. They're taking that away. So I recommend you go for it. I have that resolution. If you guys want to go forward with that, I can explain a little more about that if you guys have any more questions. But basically, if you're growing so much and your levy isn't growing as much, your tax rate's going to drop quite a bit. So I would recommend trying to keep your tax rate as stable as possible.
So that's gonna raise the taxes.
This will keep it stable, because right now, if your AV is growing so much, your tax rate's gonna go down. Like, you guys have grown like over 13% in the last 3 years. State average is like 9. So,
So it won't raise people's taxes.
no,
Okay.
It just gives us more of a cut of the money.
yes, gives you a similar piece of the pie that you're getting this year. Because if other communities around here, if they qualify for it, they're probably gonna go for it. And reset theirs. So, next page, similarly, you would qualify on the fire side too, around 2,000. So the next page, these are the local income taxes. This is the other main source of revenue that your general fund gets on the township side. So last year, for page 25, they certified 19,526. That means, like, no matter what, you guys are getting that amount. You'll get it monthly, like that divided by 12 monthly. It goes in the general fund. And then they also give sometimes what's called supplemental lift. That's like in addition to they recoup extra money somehow, and they're distributing it. The supplemental isn't, it's not consistent, so we don't count on it. It's just a little bit extra. Whenever we see it, it's good. So they just released the 26s. That's the next page. So you're going to get an additional like 7,500. So for page 26, it's going to be 27,000. So that's pretty good for Walnut. So you will definitely get that. You probably will get supplemental. We just don't know like how much. Any questions about that?
So that's on top of the
Property
levy?
taxes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's, because I think the question we had,
What's your revenues?
well, where the magic number came up, where, like, if we only have the 50,000 in the levy, where the other, that huge,
Yeah, that's probably the other piece right there. Is that?
This is the check that comes in every month.
Yes. You get about like
And it all goes to general?
general fund. Yes. Yes. So the next page, this is kind of a cash flow of like I put 24, like your 24 actuals, and then what your adopted budget is for 25, like just to get an idea of where you're gonna end up at the end of the year. And this is assuming you spend 100% of your budget and you collect all the revenues, which these revenues are, I would say my estimates are more conservative. So I'll start with just like the general fund, maybe right there, and kind of run across so you understand the flow. So you started at 1/1/24 with 61,000. You see where I'm at? Okay. So in 24, in the general fund, you got 14,900 in property taxes. Other revenues, 21,000. That's lit, CVET, FIT, vehicle excise tax. And then your total that you spent in that fund was about 22,000. So you see you've added about 14,000 to your cash balance there. Is that, you guys following that? Okay. So, you ended the year in 24 at 75,000 in that fund. So, and then, so we get to 25, this is from the adopted budget. The DLGF is saying we're gonna get about 16,500 in property taxes in that fund. And 23,000 other miscellaneous revenues, lit, CVET, all that. So total revenue is 40,000 for that, for 25. So you adopted a budget of 25,000. Obviously, I mean, you see you had a little more room to maybe budget, or if you're trying to build up your cash too, that's totally fine. So we're looking to end the year around 90,000, which if you think about it, that's more than like 2 years of operating expenses. We recommend like 6 months, at least 6 months of operating expenses. But we also have to find like the right balance of making sure we're providing those services, taxpayers are paying for. It's kind of a hard balance to manage, I guess.
So my question is, should we be slowing our levy down, or should we be moving that money somewhere else?
I wouldn't slow your levy down, but I would, if you can spend, like, if you can spend more money in township assistance, if you can, help out sometimes. Like, I know our community, we helped out the fire department a lot before they went to like the territory, so they were volunteers.
We can take that money and put it into cemetery repair.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You can do cemetery repair. General fund you can really use for any purpose.
Okay.
So, and then I don't know if you want me to go through each fund, but that kind of gives you an idea of how that flow works. So the top, that's like your township piece. So your max levy, you can allocate that max levy, that 26,000 I said, to either township assistance or general. So like you can decide how much property taxes you want to go to each of those funds. Right now there's only like 5,500 going to township assistance because you have a budget of 14,000, but I don't think you spent anything last year in that fund actually. So that's this current through 25. If you go to the next page, this is like the second half of 25. This is how the DLGF wants you. They want you to start at 6/30/25 and project to 12/30/26. So we can kind of skip the first half because that's kind of what we just went over. But so we have in here what Melody presented at the last meeting. I think we changed a few things. We'll go through those changes, but just wanted to show you like the balance of it. I've highlighted over here in red and green where we're budgeting either deficit or surplus. Obviously, you can see the general fund. We still have room to budget more if you want, or if you want to allocate more to the township assistance. But just from your operating balances at the end, like you still have, for instance, with a budget of 44,000, that's that big increase in the general fund. If you have 93,000 at the end of the year, that's 2 years of the budget left, like for the next year. So you have room to spend a little bit of money. I know with those capital improvements, they came out with this new requirement for capital improvements that I think they're pushing towards maybe consolidating townships a little bit. Just like asking you to show your need for this money. Because 9 townships have $3 million in there, and they're spending 20,000 expenses, and it's like you gotta spend some money. You gotta spend some money, or like I don't know what they're gonna do.
They're gonna raid the fund, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Well, they're requiring if you don't, you have to transfer to the new county road fund and have to fund the roads, which think they should already be doing that, right? They should already be taking care of the roads in the county, but. Yeah, so. We did put budget a little more in the township and fire, so it's a little bit of deficit budget. So that's not something I would say we should do every single year. But it's all right, it's like 1 or 2 time thing, you know, you dip into the cash balance, get some capital that you need. So that's, I guess, any questions about that? I went over it kind of fast, but
So you're saying, don't do this every year?
don't do it, don't do this every year, which, so the expenses, the capital expenses aren't really ones that you do every year, right? They're kind of,
What do you mean capital?
like,
Buying big things.
yeah, buying
Okay.
big pieces of equipment. So, I think we put like a $7,000, line in the capital for township fire. So like, if you guys don't want to spend it this year, you may can spend it next year, but I want it deficit budget every single year. Obviously, you would spend down your cash. But
So you're spending down our extra cash we have set aside.
just a little bit. So for this 1 year, we put a capital expense in there if they want to spend, if they want to dip into their cash balance, but they don't. It doesn't look like they even spend half or like the majority of their budget every year, anyways. Let's see. Last year they spent $20,000 in that fund.
What fund are we talking
Oh,
about?
sorry, bottom of the fire EMS. So last year they spent. $19,000. But this year, so we are budgeting maybe a 1 year deficit. Now, if you spend 100% of your budget every year, you know, you'll start going down into your cash. But you have plenty of cash with respect to like your budget. That's kind of what like.
I guess my question is, if we're spending this extra money that we have additional appropriations every year, it's eventually going to run out, correct?
If you spend 100% of your budget and additional appropriations, yeah, I mean, if you'll.
So then our budget would go back to kind of to what it is now.
Yeah. I mean, I would.
The money stays the same. We're just spending the extra money we have.
Yeah, like it's cash.
So how's the money gonna stay the same if they're budgeting our additional appropriations in there now? Is my question, once that runs out.
We won't be
Then
getting any
how would that-
extra cash other than whatever rate they're giving us.
The levy.
All we're doing is we've got more things to spend money on than we're getting every year.
Okay, yeah.
So we're dipping into our
Mhm.
fund.
So my question is, once that's gone,
Then you'd
Then
have
our
to, then
budget-
you'd have to spend less money.
yeah, so our budget would basically go back to what it is now. A roundabout area of what we're spending now.
Yeah, but it's gonna take a long time to burn through all that, cash.
Yeah, you've adopted, this year's your budget was an outfund $15,500. And your revenues for that fund was $25,000. So like you were budgeting into a surplus this last year, probably prior years. So like I think it's warranted if the fire chief needs or if the fire department needs any capital items, like I think it's more than warranted to like a one time.
If we're keeping that, give us that extra $8,000 over the next 2 years, where we normally have it, but that covers stuff like the radios that we paid for, and then we'll go back to normal, we'll get the radios taken care of, but if they last another 10 years, for the next couple of years here, we can get all their stuff that they're needing, the big ticket items.
He said he needed hoses.
And hoses, and then we can go back, but we can spend, if we have 2 years worth of extra operating cash, and we dip into it to get some of the big ticket items. It doesn't mean that in in 2 years or 3 years, that we'll have to still allocate that extra money, we'll just save it up again,
Yeah,
right?
And that's the whole
The whole
thing
idea
about
using
having
the
that
savings.
cash is, it's a buffer.
yes.
You know, just like,
Which we've needed this year.
Right, and then, that's what we've been saving for the last 10 years, I assume.
so, you know, every so often you dip in for a year or two, and then you
Yeah,
build it back up, then you dip in, you build it back up.
yeah.
Okay, I guess my question is, if we would do this, what would be your projected to where, if we spend at township, I know we won't spend 100%, but all the other ones, what would be your projected timeline of when that extra cash would run out? Is what I'm trying, a roundabout number.
I mean, if you spent 100% of the budget that were projected, this $36,000 budget in this fund, 4 years, you would be zero, but when you need when you need that extra capital next year, like if you don't have it this year, when you need it, you won't. Will you spend 100%?
I think on certain funds you would. I'm just worried about like the raises, you can't take a raise away, but when that money depletes out, then we gotta figure out less in other places is what my concern is.
Yeah. Well, we did take the raise out of this.
Not for the firefighters.
Yeah, not for the fire, like the clothing.
Yeah, the clothing.
So like if theirs depleted, then that means they would have less to spend on repairs.
Yes, but they also have a cumulative fire fund. That's the fund right next to it. So that can be spent on like any kind of that is like your capital fund right there too. So
That's to buy stuff, right? The equipment,
yeah, you can buy equipment as well.
but not repairs.
It's kind of a gray area. You can.
Well, you're buying equipment for the truck. It just might happen to be tires or an engine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can.
It's not really designed for that, but
Yeah. Which you did. There was no money spent in that last year. So, or in 24. Yeah, in 24. I say last year. In 24, there was no money spent in that, and you get $3 on like any AV. So that's like outside of your max levy. That's like in addition to your max levy. So you're getting about 38,000 in that fund next year. So I recommend budgeting at least 38,000. Like budget what you think you're getting in revenues, or in normal years. But if you need some extra capital, it's not. I recommend go ahead and dip into the cash balance. I'm not saying spend 50,000 this year and really dip into the cash balance, but like a 7,000.
it's there to be used.
Yeah, to use, and that's you gotta remember we're not a bank. We gotta provide this service for our citizens. So I mean, that's what I'd like to you guys do. I'm sure you guys can make that decision. But any questions about that? And all right, and then this is just the line item budget. So I think Melody went over this pretty good detail. She did change. We took the raises out for the general fund, and we changed liability insurance. She had some conversations with insurance that we added like $2,000 to that. So
Where's that?
it would be that one, yeah. It was 6,800. I think we added $3,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we added 3,000.
And that's insurance for what?
That was, we had a meeting with the insurance lady the other day, and that would be acquiring our own policy to cover our cemeteries and the board and myself under liability.
Okay. What's your bond?
Financial liability.
Okay.
So this covers the other liability other than financial, if we were to have a problem. And she's getting the packet made up for that application she's projecting 2,000 at a bare minimum, so we set it at 3,000 just in case to have that extra. And we can do that because we budgeted high on our advertising in the newspaper, so there's room to
Okay,
add that.
where is our insurance for the trucks? Where's that? Is it in the fire and how much is it?
No, that was part of that liability.
68. Just
Is this supposed to be in general or in fire?
can be in either. General fund can really pay for anything.
Okay,
Yeah, so then 9,800 is for our liability for the board and trustee, and then $900 for the workman's comp for the fire department, and then what we have left, help out the town with the rest of the big policy insurance. That's what that line item's for. And you said back in the minutes, I've never written out a check for the town for insurance. Because
that was what was discussed in June and we approved.
we didn't have the money in there to do that, and Taylor never received it, and there was no money.
Okay, well, that
Yeah,
that was what we approved and
yeah, there was no
you
money.
had
to-
said, I thought, in the next meeting, we
I-
just take the check.
No,
Okay.
no. I told Taylor that it would have to be in 2026. We did help him out with fixing that siren. That township, that siren that needed repair, we helped him out with that. I was invoiced on that, so I have an invoice and I paid the town for our portion of that siren repair.
Okay, I guess then I have a question on why there's an insurance in the fire too. If we have this over here for general that we're using to pay insurance, what's the insurance for in the fire?
I think that was what their portion of the insurance was gonna be. To help the town out.
So that's in the contract. That's added in with the contract.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have notes by that 2,000, just by that top, the one in the general fund.
Okay, and then what's the 7,000 in the other capital outlays?
That's just that capital allowance I put in there.
Yeah, explain that to them,
Yeah,
About the
so that's just,
cause that's never been in there before.
yeah, so we got kind of when we did the capital improvement plan, we got kind of the items that the fire department needed. Just thought that was like an appropriate amount to put, that they could dip into their cash and you'd still be comfortable with that if they needed capital items. It could be any capital that they need, there he goes. So,
But we do need to help the fire department, or it's gonna show that we're just hoarding money. And we need to make sure they're taken care of, so that takes care of our township.
Okay, what about the other capital outlays? The same thing that's in the King Fire, the 12,300?
yeah, it's just kind of, I plugged that in there, you can use it for anything, basically to make the budget balance, so like, budget matches, revenues matches expenses, so you're bringing in about 38,000 in that fund, so I wanted to make your budget about 38,000, so that'd be more balanced. And you guys can still, like, you guys can make changes or, up until adoption, just gotta adopt by, November 1st, which today we were planning on adopting, so. And like throughout the year, which we should, Melanie how to run the budget reports, and she's gonna start providing you those. So throughout the year, if you're like, okay, we're way overspending, maybe we need to, reduce the budget, you can always do that. So, or add to your budget throughout the year. If you add to it, you have to go, you have to put it in the newspaper and all that, but if you wanna reduce it, you can.
And we might have to do that for this year. We've overspent some, and till we get a little closer to check on that, we might have to do that.
So I guess it's on this page.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying the total revenue is going to be 119,
Mm-hmm.
but we're going to budget 136.
Yep, so a couple of those funds, we just added, it's extra budget for their capital, kind of. This one's sustainable. This one, next year, I would probably recommend, if you do go ahead and purchase if you spend 100% of your budget this year, then I do recommend next year to maybe not put a capital line in there.
That's on the township, fire and EMS.
Yes. So yeah, that's the big kicker, if you spend 100% of your budget, so,
And we don't have to spend that capital.
yeah, I mean, you can cut it.
This
So
year.
if we don't,
It could just carry over, right?
Yeah.
It's there if we need it.
That just stops so they don't have to go, gives you flexibility, so you don't have to go through the newspaper and get
Yeah.
additional appropriations. And if you guys were in like a tighter spot, I would say, let's not budget for flexibility and let's budget for like a little more strict, I guess, and then make Melody and she come to you if they want to spend more money, but, I think you guys are in a good financial position. I mean, just based on your.
So if we spend 100% in some of these funds, we can lower them next year.
Yeah.
The budget.
Yes.
But they're there in case we need them.
Yeah.
Because we're kind of went through a restructure of a lot of things in the last few years. So we're just trying to get everything set, and I'm learning to get everything so it's more routine and to follow things better, and
Yeah.
that's what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I do just wanna make a statement. Mom, she's had it rougher than I did. My previous clerk treasurer, Ashley, she had it set up to a T. All I had to do was copy it.
Yeah.
So I had a good process.
Mm-hmm.
She's had to learn it from scratch, and then had someone quit in the process, and then got a new program in the process, which is time consuming. I tried to look back to see how much it costs for everything to go into our program, and we have 3. And I couldn't even find it. So it probably was in a ledger somewhere,
Yeah.
not even in a computer. So, and I'm sure it costs a pretty penny to do that.
Yeah.
So, and it's expensive. So
And we have to get it all
to
set
start
up.
from scratch and trying to get it where it's like in the future. So if by chance she doesn't do it anymore, it makes it easier for the next person to do it. And that's the accessibility for the future person, because that's the easy part, is just making it accessible for the next person, because it is difficult.
Yeah, making it easier for the next person. I mean, I was kind of in the same boat where when I went to the city, the 2 girls before me retired, and I had to figure out what are they doing?
Yeah.
But we, Melody got on Tom's Web, which was really, I mean, that's what most townships use. Just makes it very transparent, easy to, all your records are there. Yeah, so it has made it a lot easier.
And I know for myself, because the town's currently in an audit, I have looked back through my Keystone like there's no tomorrow, back from all the way till 2021.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to go back to my computer than it is to look through about 1 million pieces of paper. Just because it's already there and you just archived it. So starting a program like that and then even paying for it is definitely worth the $1.
Yeah, not only that, it's she can print checks in there and not write checks. I think that's I don't want to say red flag, but it's just not
It leaves a room a lot of error.
a lot of error, right?
And it's like basically like my checkbook register. So it's a really nice program, but it just took a long time, and Michelle helped get all that set up so I can
But
just
yeah, I'm
start.
not really helping much. I mean, you're pretty much driving yourself.
Yeah, right, yeah, it's just the setup was getting it to where we're at today, and we're doing pretty good right now.
Like as far as, I don't know what everybody's opinion is, but like as far as the trustee's salary
Mhm.
for our township, where is that in relation to other townships of similar sizes?
I'd say it's pretty low. I mean, my township's probably double the size, and we don't really have a fire department anymore. We don't have, because this is one territory, and they make probably 30. So,
Because I will say, we go over this, and it's brought up that we've never done this in years past, and I know she's putting a boatload of time into it. And there's tons of hours because for the last couple of years that I've been here,
mhm.
for what's the last couple trustees that didn't want to, you figured an awful lot out, and that's a ton of time, and you're not being nearly compensated because nobody else wanted to take that on, and you figured it out. But I don't know whether there's
Yeah.
down the road
Yeah.
how we
I'd say it's one of the lowest I've seen.
I wouldn't do it.
And then,
I would do it.
For what you've done and
Yeah.
and everybody you found and talked to and got organized,
Mhm.
because it wasn't like that 2 years ago.
And that, so your salaries, like if you do end up making any change in salary, you just have to put that on a salary ordinance, so, that'll probably come in November, where you actually certify the board salaries and our salaries. So you have time if you wanted to make any kind of decision like that, it's not official until that's done. And then you could always amend it throughout the year too, so like you do something and you're like, oh, let's change it, revenues are coming in better or something, you can say, let's update the salary ordinance, you can change that anytime.
Is there a way to, like, even if you, I mean, it probably needs to be adjusted. But even, is there can you even do like a 1 year,
Stipend or something?
I don't know, for,
Well, you can just simply bump it up and then bump it down the next year.
Yeah, you can.
Can townships do longevities like towns can?
I know the fire guys at my township, but I haven't seen like a trustee, but that's a good question.
And I know towns can, because like it's the same way, you can't take a town's clerk's salary away or a board's salary away. But
Yeah,
you can, put in a loophole, it's called longevity raise. So like every year you're getting like a 3% raise. And then if someone were to come in behind her that has no experience, won't get that longevity, she'll get the base rate. So whatever the base rate is now, let's say it's 7,000, well then the next person that comes in behind her comes in at 7, but she's, let's say now at 10, well, they're not gonna get that 10 because of that longevity, because of knowing the information.
I think once you do the raise, it's a raise.
But
Yeah, well, she's talking about something
it's a
totally
longevity,
different.
yeah.
you have to.
It's like
that's
years
something
of
we got.
service.
Yeah,
I-
it's like a,
I'm
No,
just
no,
thinking, in the next 2 years, when Melody has gotten this all under control, and everything's set up, and even if she hands it off next term or 3 terms from now, she's put in a ton of work in the last however long it's been. That's a ton of hours on her time that's not
It's
really fair
definitely worth
for the
an
work
attorney
that's gone
question.
into it.
Yeah,
for sure. 'Cause I think you can do it, 'cause I know towns can do it, because a lot of towns have that, it's like an ordinance you throw in place that
yeah,
says that a clerk, a township or clerk treasurer can have a longevity raise. And every year, and that's based off percentage, whatever that looks like as a board.
mhm,
And then after that, if she were to leave, that next person that comes in behind her does not get that. They don't get it until they're in it after a year.
yeah,
And then it's just 3% of what they're making, which the base rate is 7,000. It's the 3% or whatever percentage you say of what she's currently making of a base rate. And that's like the loophole of, I guess, not
that, and there's other, like.
You
we
have
also
a
do-
raise for the next
Or-
person, that's the best way to
I
explain
know
it.
she doesn't have perf, or, like, you
Yeah.
guys don't have perf, but that's something common I see is, like, trustees they are enrolled in perf, so that the town will contribute like 11% of their salary, so. For seven.
I think we need to look into that,
It's definitely a question for future, of course.
yes, for the future, but
And
that's,
you can, like, I can pull you guys some comps, or on Gateway, you can see like what everybody's made in the state, so, you know, like, any townships or trustees that are similar in nature, maybe just check it out and or I can check it out for you.
Okay, I have another question.
Yep.
And I don't know if it's for you or you.
Okay.
In the fire fund, we've got operating supplies,
What page are we on?
it's the last one, sorry.
Okay.
You've got operating supplies an amount, and then repair and maintenance an amount, insurance an amount, and then contract payments an amount. So the stuff above that's not coming out of the contract.
The contractual payments is not just paying Walnut, it's like it's paying Walnut Township, or wait.
That contractual is what fire agreement,
And they're
our contract.
Okay, so, but the stuff above it, it's not what they're paying out of that 10,000 is my question.
correct, that's just an addition to.
Right, if they needed it. That's to say, it's there if we needed it. It's not saying we have to spend it. And the fire department's done pretty well as far as not going crazy on a lot of expenditures or anything. They've been pretty conservative and helping with all that stuff too.
but that's even like, I was talking to Kyle beforehand, all their pump tests and stuff was $3,000+
Got the bill?
to get everything certified. But for us, giving them 8,500 or whatever the number was, $3,000 of that just to get the pumps tested, like I would assume that's somewhere that money can be spent.
Okay, I
It's not
guess,
their normal operating costs that we give them in through the contract, right?
so, I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, fine.
So we're going to give them the 10,000, and then we're keeping the rest of the money, and they come to us and get it? Or
Yeah.
we're adding that?
No.
Okay, then that makes sense.
Because even, I think we set the contract up, like if you spend through this money on repairs and everything,
We didn't have anything left.
well, there wasn't anything left, but if
Yeah.
he uses all that, he can still come ask us,
If need
and
be.
then if need be.
That's next
right?
year. Because this
Yeah,
year, we
this
had it
year.
set to where we kept the clothing allotment
Yeah.
and everything else went to payment.
Right.
So that's next year.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, that
that's
makes sense.
26,
It's
yeah.
a little
And while we're on that,
give or take.
my opinion, I'm still pushing to support the ambulance. Cause it says Walnut Township ambulance on the side of the ambulance. And Taylor made a comment that, just cause their name's on the title, that ambulance still services the Walnut Township. I would want that ambulance coming to my house if needed, where Taylor said if they're gonna support the whole thing, then they could make it town ambulance only, and I support the ambulance, it's done good, the town, like Montgomery County has asked for us to be on standby during this big event we had this past weekend with the race. They did 24-hour shifts, they getting a pretty good relationship with the Montgomery County. I'm looking at that new ambulance donation, and I highly support the ambulance, and I wish the board would support the ambulance. That's my opinion on that. Like I say, our name is on the side, Walnut Township. Just because our name is not on that title, I still feel like that should not be the sole responsibility of just the town. I feel like we should have ownership in that because we use it too. So that's,
And I think in the last year or two, Kyle's shifted a lot as far as what it was.
but my whole thing is there again, you guys are out of this, I'm in this, living in town, I'm being double dipped on my taxes. Because my taxes are going to them for countywide, and then my taxes to the towns going to that.
Can you help out with that question?
I mean, if she's paying the town and the township, like, yes, they're both going to, like, it really.
So,
I mean, we're paying countywide, we're paying the county for countywide.
Yeah, I mean,
So, I guess the best way to explain on a town's perspective is that if, that's one way I guess you can look at it. So we don't actually have, we do the county EMS, but that's everyone, even the town, everybody else in town pays for that.
uh-huh,
So, but then if the property taxes come in, well, we just have a line item in our general budget, that's just where it goes.
yeah,
And the town, I guess the town board allots where those taxes go.
yeah.
So then when we budget, correctly from there. So are you double dipping?
Mhm.
Based off technicality, yes, but you yourself are not actually double dipping. The town is, I
It's
guess,
against
choosing
the law
that for you,
though,
but yes,
Yeah, the board is.
the board is making that decision for you, because that's just.
Well, you're gonna pay it,
Yeah.
whether it's ambulance or something else, you're still gonna pay the tax.
I agree, but still, they're double dipping the town people on the ambulance, on
No,
my
no.
taxes.
But that's
You're-
county's
our
not.
level, that wouldn't be our level.
That's not, it would be.
But that's why I'm saying, on my perspective,
I mean,
why?
So,
You're paying for the convenience of having an ambulance club.
Yeah,
But I'm also paying the county.
but so is
Because
everybody else
it's
in town
countywide.
too.
And if nobody is around for the ambulance, then the county comes.
so I'm not in town, but the way I have it in my brain, whether it's correct or not, if the ambulance costs $10,000 a year, and right now the town is paying all that, and if we start contributing to that, but we kind of already are in a sense anyway, as the fire department as a whole, that if we contribute through the township, say $5,000 of it, and it goes, if we're actually keeping it separate and calling it that, but that means that the town doesn't budget for $10,000, they'll budget for $5,000 because they know some of it's coming from us. But then that means, I don't know what else the town does, community days and everything else, that's $5,000 more in your budget that you'll put into the town.
Oh, yeah, I did.
It all gets
lower that
spent,
much, I just moved it.
Whether it's one thing or another, but if they buy chrome potholes or manhole covers for the town, and that's something that everybody wanted, I mean, the money's all, there's an ambulance running and it services everyone, but if we pay some of that through the township, because we've got it in our budget, and everybody township-wide is contributing money towards that, that just means that whatever we give is probably extra money that the town can spend on the park or the community building or somewhere else, right? It's not,
I guess I just don't want these funds restricted. I mean, if it comes up, we need it, the ambulance needed, I don't know, a new stretcher or something, I mean, I don't wanna see it, no, we can't do that, we're not part of the ambulance, we can't do that. That's just an example. I feel like,
The town does pay for.
yeah, I'm gonna open it up, I just don't want it restricted to no
No, be
ambulance.
100%.
It's
It'll be
progressively
paid
gotten
for
worse in the last 2 years. It has progressively gotten worse.
What's that? What's worse?
The equality on the fire and EMS protection.
Explain.
Do you have high response, what's your response time, is it?
Usually within 2 to 3 minutes. Give or take, throughout the day it varies just because we are a volunteer.
Yeah,
Of an evening, I can pull it up probably within 2 to 3 minutes, give or take. We have our tones go every 3 minutes, we're usually out before the second tone. So,
do you guys
response
bill,
times,
or do you guys bill for EMS
Correct.
coming in? Okay.
like I said, I don't know, I just feel like talking with people amongst the county that ambulances and those supported, I've got people in town that are offering to pay whatever insurance that it takes. If the town and the township can't make up their mind on it, I've got a person here in town that said they would probably bill to keep that ambulance in here.
I wanna see it going.
But and we have other people that are against it. Well, the thing is, you could be against it. My thing is the city and the county have both approached us, want us to put it back in service because it is here, it is convenient, it has done its job between here, Ladoga, wherever else it's gotta go. Nobody in town seems to care. Like they want it to be here. You know, we've had meetings before where we tried to get rid of the ambulance and it was a riot in those meetings. If they want it, they want it. I mean,
But some of those people in those meetings, you couldn't have taken anyway. That were saying my concerns here is my, husband, whatever. You couldn't have taken them anyway because it's not the basic life saving.
the point is us to get there.
But if, I'm saying if you had what do they call it, a chase vehicle like everybody else, you're still going there, you're still helping them like you could until Crawfordsville gets there.
But we don't have to be like everybody else. I mean, you said if the paramedics, if all the ambulances are gone on route from Montgomery County, a paramedic can jump in a personal vehicle and come out here and ride on our ambulance, right?
So how much are you making in your billing?
Billing rate, I believe, for a BLS emergent run, so anytime that we're dispatched there, it is either 650 or 750, it's whatever, we matched up with whatever Crawfordsville bills.
Okay, how much have you made is that's my question.
We just switched billing companies, so I'm waiting on the influx of that. I just got all the paperwork.
A year ago.
So as of now, there's a payment in there, I don't know what it is, because I just got an email from the billing company that wanted to know how much was put in there. And I haven't been there yet because I was here, so.
You say you had insurance companies calling to verify different runs now.
Correct.
Then
There
you never had that before.
Probably pretty minimal, right? I mean,
Usually.
yeah.
I've got a question on township assistance.
Okay.
We have a large packet of things people have to fill out.
Yeah.
Is that set up by state? Or is that every township has their own rules for township assistance?
State has like guidelines that you can't like go below that, but you can add like extra guidelines. So
I just
see-
wondered-
The application is the same throughout the state.
Yeah,
I just wondered if our application was the same as everybody else's, because there's obviously a need out there and yet we're not
Mhm.
using that money.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen your application, but if you send it to me, I
It's
can compare it to mine.
It's the state application.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
And it's, all I do is attach a cover letter and I give some suggestions, which Ladoga gave me that list of places they could go to before we had to dip into taxpayer money.
yeah,
And, I mean, the application is extensive.
it is, and like, I'll say like, we try to like, I mean, it's hard for us to spend our budget, but like, in Madison County, like, I mean, of course, you gotta watch out for scammers, because you have those people that try to take advantage of it, but,
Do the people call and then they don't end up filling out the budget
Yeah.
or filling out the form and
Yeah.
then they?
yeah.
That's what happened to our township. They'll call and, Taylor keeps the applications in her office and they pick them up and then I never see them.
Yeah,
Okay, that was my own question. I
Yeah.
just wondered what.
It's a state application.
Can they come to you and get an application if she's closed?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
I've had people call me.
Yeah.
and
And
then
that's-
Tom's Web will allow you, like, there's a thing that allows you to, like, have a link on your guys' website where if you post your meetings, they can go to, so might.
Okay.
Tom's
We
Web.
don't actually have a website right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to work on that.
Okay.
I just post that on Facebook.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
we
wanting
can
to get a
have-
that's my next project is to get the website set up to where that link is on there so they can just,
Yeah, right, and then it'll, like,
yeah.
import to your Tom's Web. too.
Right.
So it'll show, like, any acceptances
Yeah.
you deny.
If anybody needs an application, nobody's being denied of an application. They can,
And I even offer the application when someone in town is having issues, like if they need help.
she even volunteers it.
I volunteer it, it's my only
Yeah.
form
A lot
of,
of people don't know.
it's my only form of helping them, because the town
But
doesn't
nobody's,
have that assistance program. If you pay your bill, you get shut off.
nobody's filling them out. so.
And then you guys can set the, like, amounts, though, like.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah.
That's, we have that ordinance. But I can't force people to fill that out.
Yeah. A lot of people just don't know it's an option, so.
Or they see it and it's like, this is too much, cause I've had a lot of people tell me that, it's too much.
But it's hard, it's like you don't really wanna advertise it either, because then you probably will get a lot of scammers, you gotta find like the right one.
Right, and it is a state law, it's nothing that I've made up myself.
Yeah.
I haven't had time for that. Yeah, no, it's a state form.
Any other questions with the budget?
Yeah, I did have one. You said, back to the beginning of your presentation, there could be less legislation changes. What are those that you're talking about could happen? Is it something that could drop our balance or our budget?
Well, the lit changes are going to be, really, no one knows what's gonna happen with the lit. Right now, next year, you're getting 27,000. But the way it's gonna work is like the county will adopt it and they will decide how much you guys get.
But we'll know in enough time before we do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we should know in 27, like, they have to tell us.
We're good through
Yeah,
27.
you're good
Okay.
for 27.
Okay.
Yep,
I like it.
you like it. I do have the budget resolution that like will officially adopt it. So if you have any changes, then you could mark it up on here. But this needs to be like signed and uploaded. You guys need to like take an action if you guys are ready to adopt it. If you don't, we probably will have to restart the process. If I don't, like, we'll have enough time, actually.
Where does it show what our total budget is?
I have a total, yeah. Let's see.
Is it the 306, 101?
One,
Oh, that's projected cash. 136.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. And here's like a, I know it's more paper, but this is just the line item budget. You can have that. 7 or something. So I have that resolution and I have those excess levy appeal resolutions, if you want me to talk about that.
Yeah, I have a packet here that I have to fill out by October 21st.
Yeah, for each of them. So you have two, of the township. And what that does, that gives you that extra 2,000 on each of your max levies every year.
So I do one for the township and one for,
The fire EMS.
so two, I have to fill out two of these, okay.
And it's very extensive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I get it done.
yeah, you should be able to get it done.
And a lot of this information I get off Gateway, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then obviously ask me if you have any questions.
I might have to ask because,
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and the packet last year was much smaller and they've added about a lot more questions.
and this is something when this just doesn't, this isn't just a 1-year thing, it's it continues.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you will add 2,000 to your max load, like, and you probably could have last year or the year before, which is just,
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like, it seems minimal, 2,000, but like,
That's
I mean,
hoses.
going forward, like, that is,
So 2,000
I would
over
say
time,
take
you
what
don't
you
use it
can
as long.
now.
Yeah.
Like, so, I have 2 resolutions for that, that's one for the fire, one for the township, that just gives Melody the, approval to apply for it. Like, the state could just say no, but I doubt they will. If you fill out all that for 2,000, they're probably gonna say,
Yeah,
take it.
yeah.
And so if you could have had that 3 years ago, that's 2, 4, 6,
I
that's
know.
$6,000 that you could have had that you didn't, you could have.
Yeah.
If you did have it, you may not have spent it, so.
Yeah, yeah. So, I guess any other questions about that?
I make a motion that we adopt the budget resolution.
Here's,
I'll second it.
All those in favor, say aye.
Alright,
and just sign it and put A, nay, or.
Yeah, I appreciate Michelle coming, she she's not charging for travel, she just wanted to make sure that helps out.
Yeah.
Things I was trying to explain, but I don't know a lot of it to be real confident on explaining. So, I reached out for help, and we've been working on this budget for 2 or 3 months.
Feels like it, yeah.
Yeah, we've been working on that, trying to get it,
And just getting like everything into your Tom's Web, that was kind of a big.
that was the big thing, yeah.
Well, it's-
And I think, starting next year, I think a correction we need to make is the first time I pass out the budgets when we need to look at the budget.
Yeah.
Because we waited until the public meeting to look at the budget, and we needed to have all that done before that time.
Yeah, sometimes for places like we do like what they call budget workshops, we come in and we just like go through like line by line, all the questions that you guys have, and that way like the public hearing, you kind of know what you guys are gonna adopt and what you're presenting to the public is pretty like dead on.
Right.
So obviously just let us know if you guys need any help with that next year. Yeah. And then here's these other resolutions for the excess levy. I don't know, I mean, if you guys want her to go for it, I would recommend go for it, but here's basically, and that is the fire one and the township, basically just, it's kind of like,
Okay,
what we're applying for both of those.
well, I make a motion that we apply for these additional increases. All those in favor?
I'll second, but this is for the 4%, right?
You automatically get 4%, this is in addition to
That's
4%. Which you only would get if you're a growing community, which you guys actually are, so.
Okay, we just made a motion for what? This isn't gonna increase people's taxes, correct?
No.
Okay, so
If we don't go for it, somebody else is gonna take that piece of the pie.
what did you say this was?
Excess levy appeal.
Okay,
And do you guys use resolution numbers? Do you guys have a
Yeah.
right one on there?
Yeah, I can write one on there.
Yes.
You have an assistant.
The next trustee? Yeah, so long. Maybe. I went this far.
It's like, only if you give me a raise.
Okay, I didn't get any. Also,
Now, do I have to sign this, or is this just for the board?
You can attest at the bottom.
Oh, at the bottom?
Yeah. Thanks for listening to my spiel today.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, very, very helpful.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm on a board too, so I know like sometimes you want more information.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you guys finish up your meeting. And my last bit,
Any of the board members have anything? Needham has found the cistern, and he's probably gonna fill it this time.
Okay.
He's just been busy with work, so
Yeah.
things have slowed down.
Yeah.
I found this out yesterday. The Walnut Township Community Organization is gonna start doing the veteran flags. that you see like downtown Provinceville.
Oh, yeah.
There's a fee for it, it goes through DAR, but the paperwork is gonna go out somewhere at some point. And then
That goes to the AR.
it does go to DAR. And then from there, of course, then it will be up for a year, I think it's 150, and then, but there's a lot of requirements, so if anybody wants to township registered, they're more than welcome to fill it out. It'll be put in downtown, in the Ross, of course. That's one place where we can put them, on the light poles.
You can put me up there.
No, I'm not paying for the job.
Put down up there.
No. So if anybody's interested, I just wanna fill that out. I
Okay,
found out
that's a good
yesterday.
deal.
Yeah.
You found that out yesterday? Okay, I'm a part of the DAR. That is a big fundraiser that they do, and a lot of towns are doing that.
Mhm.
And that is a nice thing.
And so they have some things to go through, they gotta find what the brackets are and stuff, and
Yeah.
show banners the right size and whatnot. But they are doing that, so I know they're gonna, I think they have to have their orders in, I think by,
Michelle Borden's contact.
I don't even know,
Yeah.
it's pretty quick, so I don't know if it's by, I think it's by December this year, to get ahead.
Yeah,
Everybody
that
else,
takes
so it's
a
pretty
while to make those.
So if you're interested, look out for that, that might be on the Russ Hub maybe. And they'll
Maybe.
post them around town too.
So you come up with a picture of your veteran, if you're interested. I don't have anything, all I wanna talk about real quick was that, ambulance, I got the, if anybody wanted to see these, I do have the records that was turned in at the last meeting from the fire department, anybody needed this. These were, our meeting went so long, I had them last meeting, if I wanted to see those. I'll file those in the records. That's all I have.
Anybody else have anything? Well, I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Mike, I need your signature.
Yeah.
Okay, there. And then Melody's signature.